Croatia country located in the northwestern part of the Balkan Peninsula. It is a small yet highly geographically diverse crescent-shaped country. Its capital is Zagreb, located in the north. The present-day republic is composed of the historically Croatian regions of Croatia, Istria, and Dalmatia. Although these regions were ruled for centuries by various foreign powers, they remain firmly Western-oriented in culture, acquiring a legacy of Roman law, the Latin alphabet, and Western European political and economic traditions and institutions. A part of Yugoslavia for much of the 20th century, Croatia suffered considerably from the disintegration of that federation in the early 1990s. The European trajectory of Croatia was finally realized in 2013 when it joined the European Union. As the Croatian-Canadian scholar Tony Fabijancic writes, Croatia's tumultuous first years as an independent country also have obscured its centuries-long history. Croatia is an ancient nation, yet a very young nation-state. Once a formidable kingdom under Tomislav in the 10th century, a naval power in the 16th and 17th, and an awakening national entity in the 19th, it had to endure 1,000 years of foreign meddling, subjugation, incursions, and outright wars before being recognized in 1992 as a distinct entity. Land. The upper arm of the Croatian crescent is bordered on the east by the Vojvodina region of Serbia and on the north by Hungary and Slovenia. The body of the crescent forms a long coastal strip along the Adriatic Sea, and the southern tip touches on Montenegro. Within the hollow of the crescent, Croatia shares a long border with Bosnia and Herzegovina, which actually severs a part of southern Croatia from the rest of the country by penetrating to the Adriatic in a narrow corridor. Plant and animal life. Reflecting the country's diverse geography, the flora and fauna of Croatia are highly varied. On the Dalmatian coast, grapes and olives are grown to produce wine and oil, while Istria is dominated by firs, and Slavonia has many oak forests. In terms of animal life, lizards are found on the coast, while wolves and even bears can be found in the inland forests. Hares, foxes, boars, wildcats, and mouflons, wild sheep, also inhabit Croatia. Sea life in the Adriatic is rich as well, with many coral reefs and underwater caves serving as habitats. People of Croatia, ethnic groups and religions. A variety of ethnic groups coexist within the republic. Croats constitute about 9/10 of the population. Serbs make up the largest minority group, however, their proportion fell dramatically as a result of the 1990s War of Independence, from more than 1/10 of the population before the war to less than half that figure in 21. In addition to the Croats and the Serbs, there are small groups of Bosnian Muslims, Hungarians, Italians, and Slovenes, as well as a few thousand Albanians, Austrians, Bulgarians, Czechs, Germans, and other nationalities. It has been estimated that the number of Croats living outside the borders of Croatia is comparable to the number living inside the country. Many ethnic Croats reside in Bosnia and Herzegovina. There is traditionally a close correlation between ethnic identity and religious affiliation. The Croats are overwhelmingly Roman Catholic and more Western influenced than the Serbs, who are overwhelmingly Eastern Orthodox. Languages. Croats speak Croatian, a South Slavic language of the Indo-European family. Croatian is quite similar to Serbian and Bosnian, but political developments since the collapse of Yugoslavia have encouraged the three ethnic groups to emphasize the differences between their languages. The clearest distinction between the Croatian and Serbian variants of what was previously called the Serbo-Croatian language is the script, with Croatian written in the Latin alphabet and Serbian in the Cyrillic. Distinctions of grammar and pronunciation also occur, as do more striking differences in vocabulary, which result partly from differential historical patterns of foreign domination. Economy of Croatia. Following the demise of communism in Croatia in 1990, the Croatian government began a course of restructuring the economy from the Yugoslav system of socialist self-management to market-oriented capitalism. This required such measures as the sale of state-owned enterprises to private owners, the establishment of functioning markets, and the creation of stable prices, interest rates, and currency. The accomplishment of these tasks proved difficult, largely because of the destabilizing effects of war. The war not only deterred foreign investment, which was a crucial motor of economic growth and structural change in other Central and Eastern European countries, but also damaged infrastructure and production facilities. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing. Agriculture occupies less than 1/4 of Croatia's land and contributes less than 1/10 of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Croatian agricultural produce is exported mainly to nearby countries, particularly Bosnia and Herzegovina, Italy, Slovenia, and Serbia. Slavonija, the granary of Croatia, is the most fertile agricultural region. Farming there is characterized by capital-intensive market-oriented production and larger land holdings. Major crops of the region are sugar beets, corn, potatoes, barley, soybeans, sunflowers, and tobacco. Oats, rye, millet, rice, beans, peas, and chicory are also grown. Pigs, cattle, and poultry are important to the economy of the region, while there is also some beekeeping and silkworm cultivation. The central mountain belt contains some of the poorest land and climate for agriculture. The large areas of meadow and pasture, however, are suitable for raising sheep and cattle, and there is also some cultivation of barley, oats, rye, and potatoes. Fruits grown include plums, apples, pears, sour cherries, sweet cherries, peaches, and apricots. Transportation and telecommunications. Croatia has excellent access to shipping routes because of its long coastline on the Adriatic. The major seaports of Rijeka, Zadar, Sidnik, Split, Ploce, and Dubrovnik link Europe via the Suez Canal with Asia and Australia. There are also several international airports in Croatia, with a number of them used largely for tourism. There has been significant investment in highways and railways within the country since the 1990s war. Highways run between Zagreb and Split, a route also well served by rail connections in between Zagreb and the Serbian border. In addition to the direct eastern routes to Serbia and Romania, road access to Central Europe is good. Health, welfare, and housing. The health of Croatians is good compared with that of the populations of neighboring countries. Life expectancy at birth is higher than the Eastern European average, and the infant mortality rate is significantly lower. The rate of HIV infection is low, reflecting competent prevention efforts. However, the healthcare system is in need of investment and far-reaching reform because, being almost entirely state-provided, it imposes a substantial burden on the budget. The social welfare system is also burdensome, partly because Croatia has a large number of retirees and unemployed individuals. In urban areas, large portions of the population live in concrete tower blocks built during the Yugoslav era, which are in dire need of investment. Education. During its 45 years in power, the communist Yugoslav regime reduced illiteracy in Croatia from 16% of the population over 10 years of age to less than 4%. By the early 21st century, the literacy rate for Croatians over age 14 was nearly 99%. In addition to thousands of elementary schools, secondary schools, commercial and technical institutions, and vocational schools, the Yugoslav emphasis on education led to the founding of universities in Rijeka in 1973, in Split in 1974, and in Osijek in 1975. Cultural life. The Yugoslav version of communism, which evolved following Yugoslavia's 1948 break with the Soviet Union, and the agency of international communism known as Common Forum, allowed far greater autonomy and self-expression in cultural and other spheres of life than did the communist societies of most of Yugoslavia's neighbors. As a result, Croatian culture was able to develop in continuity with the Western heritage of which it has long been a part and to which it has contributed for the last 1,000 years. Daily life and social customs. With a predominantly Roman Catholic population, Croatia observes Catholic religious holidays. Other important national holidays commemorate historical events. Anti-Fascist Resistance Day, June 22, marks the formation of the first partisan unit in Croatia in 1941. Statehood Day, June 25, celebrates Croatia's declaration of independence from Yugoslavia in 1991. Independence Day, marking the day in 1991 on which Croatia formally broke with Yugoslavia, is October 8.